fake wire transfer receipts to businesses as a way to protect her son. But the government says she did this to commit fraud.
The two will be sentenced July 11th, with Kingston confined to house arrest for the time being. Meanwhile, his mother has been remanded into federal custody.
This story is crazier than you think. Rick Ross just dropped a bombshell on Sean Kingston's $1 million scam, exposing crazy details that no one suspected. And that infamous boat accident? It wasn't an accident at all. This is a saga of deception, high-stakes schemes, and a plot twist nobody saw coming. If you think you know the whole story, trust me, you don't. Stay right here, because what you're about to hear will blow your mind. All right, let's set the scene. Sean Kingston was living large. He had all the money, fame, flashy lifestyle, you name it. But behind all that shine, he was caught up in a whole different story, one that slowly unraveled into a full-blown criminal mess. It all started in May 2024 when Verver Entertainment LLC filed a civil lawsuit against Kingston, accusing him of fraud and breaking their contract. The company claimed Kingston had ordered a massive 232-inch colossal TV and sound system for his home, but never paid the $115,000 bill. To dodge the full cost, he allegedly promised to make promo videos for the brand with his friend Justin Bieber. But the videos never happened, and Justin wasn't even involved in the first place.
A 232-inch colossal television valued at $115,000. Mateos claims he began installing the TV after receiving a down payment of $30,000, but after the project was completed, months of back and forth with Kingston through text messages.
Following this, the investigators started digging, and they uncovered a full-blown mess. Turns out this wasn't some one-time slip-up, it was a pattern. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, Southern District of Florida, they'd reach out to sellers on social media and invite them to one of their fancy homes in Broward County, use Sean's celeb status to win them over, and promise shout-outs or referrals from other big names. But when it came time to pay, nothing. The whole thing was a hustle, and it finally caught up with them.
The two now facing multiple federal wire fraud charges, prosecutors say, stem from allegations the pair would claim to send bank wire transfers as payment with phony paperwork as a way of defrauding businesses and people out of luxury items.
But that wasn't the only time they found themselves dragged into court. Back in 2015, a luxury watch dealer took both Kingston and his mom to a New York federal court and won. The duo had skipped out on paying for custom timepieces, and the court hit them with a $356,000 default judgment. Then in 2018, deja vu struck. A high-end jeweler in New York, Aquamaster, came forward, claiming they'd been scammed out of 9 flashy pieces. Instead of a wire transfer, Kingston gave out 2 checks which all bounced. Once again, the court ruled against Sean and his mom, ordering them to cough up $301,000. It's like they were building a collection of lawsuits. In court, prosecutors didn't hold back. They claimed the duo tricked these businesses by pretending they'd wired payments, when in reality, no money was ever sent. According to them, Kingston and Mama Kingston were living large on lies, pocketing luxuries without actually paying for them. The way they played the game was straight up ruthless. Fake payment confirmations, phony paperwork, snatch the goods, and disappear like they never even existed. It's the kind of scheme you'd expect in a gritty heist flick. But here's where things get really interesting. Prosecutors came out swinging, reading the charges in court. One could tell that Turner was the mastermind behind it all.
Criminal use of personal identification information. Count 7, grand theft greater than $100,000. And count 8, criminal use of personal identification information.
But there is more. Prosecutors didn't just come with claims, they brought receipts. They exposed how Sean and his mother tried to enrich themselves using fake wire transfer slips to pretend they'd paid for things. What's surprising is a text straight from Sean to his mom saying, "I told you to make a fake receipt, so it looks like the transfer will be there in a couple of days." He basically admitted to faking it in his own messages. That's not just sloppy, that's straight up self-sabotage. The judge dubbed Janice the fixer and nerve center of the operation, and with her history, it wasn't hard to see why they made that call. Meanwhile, Kingston's legal team tried to spin the story differently, claiming he was just a financially clueless guy, even going so far as to compare him to a child, throwing money around without understanding the consequences. But the jury, they weren't buying it. After just 3.5 hours of deliberation, they came to a damning conclusion.
Not to testify. His own attorney, though, painting him as a kid who spends too much money, a kid who isn't even aware of how much money he has, of how all of that works, and that his mother is a protective mother.
The emotional climax came as Kingston overwhelmed overwhelmed, broke down in tears, pleading with officials to protect my mother as she was taken into custody. The fear of decades in prison hung over them, casting a dark shadow on their future. In the midst of this, many believe that Mama K is the brains behind a lot of this. Turns out this wasn't Mama Kingston's first dance with the law. Way back in 2006, she actually pleaded guilty to bank fraud after swiping over $160,000. And yes, she did serious time for it, spending nearly 18 months in prison. It's like trouble has been following her name for years.
But given that Turner has been charged for similar crimes in the past, the judge found the bond amounts appropriate. Reporting live in studio, Ashley Mackey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
She comes across as someone who knows the system well and isn't afraid to bend the rules to get what she wants. The way she was involved in setting up fake payments and convincing companies they were legit, it's calculated, not careless. It feels like she was running things behind the scenes while Sean played the flashy front. And when you look at what prosecutors revealed, it's hard to argue. Turner played her part too. She wasn't just watching from the sidelines. Authorities say she made sure all those high-end items actually got delivered to them, then turned around and sent fake wire transfers in return. Cold and calculated. That's what has people online saying she wasn't just an accomplice, she was the engine behind it all. And this wasn't just some minor slip-up or financial oops moment. Nah, this was a full-blown, well-executed scheme. Now, Kingston and his mom are staring down up to 20 years in federal prison. That's the max for wire fraud, and trust me, the feds don't play. They're not like your local cops with a warning and a slap on the wrist. When they build a case, they build it tight, and when they come for you, it's usually a done deal. Sentencing is already set for July 11th, and the clock is ticking. No more Instagram flexes, VIP sections, just courtrooms, lawyers, and the reality of possibly losing 2 decades of your life. Think about that, 20 years. That's a whole generation. And the craziest part is that all this could have been avoided. But the high life comes with a price, and now it looks like Kingston's finally about to pay up. After the guilty verdict, things got real serious. Turner was remanded into federal custody last month, and U.S. Marshals took her away. The judge decided she was a flight risk. As for Kingston, he was put under house arrest with an electronic monitor. He was told to post a bond, a $100,000 cash bond, but he couldn't come up with the money, so they took him into custody. His attorney, Robert Rosenblatt, who spoke to TMZ, said Sean is unable to come up with the cash bond for now, but they're working on it. Rosenblatt says some unnamed celebrity friends are trying to help Sean out.
Sean Kingston is back behind bars this evening. He's awaiting sentencing on a federal wire fraud conviction from last month. The 35-year-old singer, whose real name is Kasayan Anderson.
But wait, the story doesn't end there. With all this drama unfolding, the big question is, where is Rick Ross? The Miami boss has made a name for himself as hip-hop's unofficial financial watchdog. He doesn't shy away from calling out celebrities who play fast and loose with their money. Remember when he teamed up with Funk Flex and clowned DJ Envy over that whole real estate fraud mess? He even took a moment to call out Lil Durk's legal troubles, using the opportunity to speak directly to the youth to stay away from crime. He wasn't just throwing shade, he was sending a message. Stay away from crime, stay focused, and don't let the streets write your story. So now that Sean Kingston is knee-deep in this fraud scandal, the streets are watching Ross's Instagram like hawks, waiting to see if he's about to fire shots. But here's the plot twist. Sean Kingston once called Rick Ross his big brother. Yep, he praised Ross as someone he looked up to, someone who gave him guidance in the industry. So now we're in this weird space where the mentor might have to call out the mentee. If history tells us anything, Rick Ross won't bite his tongue just because of a past connection. He might not have said anything yet, but knowing Ross, a slick bar in a freestyle or a petty IG post could be coming any minute. And if he does speak up, best believe it'll sting. Because to Rick Ross, financial recklessness isn't just a personal L, but rather a sign of weak character, bad decisions, and fake boss energy. And as someone who built his image on being the biggest boss, Ross has zero tolerance for artists who fake it till they break it. And in Sean Kingston's case, the fallout has been ugly. His music used to be the talk of the town. Now it's his legal mess that's got everyone's attention. And let's face it, in an industry that runs on relationships and reputation, this kind of scandal doesn't just hurt your pockets, it shuts doors. Studios stop calling, promoters go silent, and even those so-called big brothers might keep their distance, especially when your name is tied to $1 million mess. If anything, this whole situation is a wake-up call for anyone chasing clout. In celebrity culture, nothing stays hidden forever. One minute you're singing Beautiful Girls, and the next, you're the headline of a major fraud scandal. The reality is, Hollywood never sleeps, and neither do the skeletons in these celebrity closets. So, stay tuned, we'll keep digging so you don't have to. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. Until next time, stay woke, stay messy, and stay tuned for the next video.